The mind has no time. The past is not gone. Everything is happening now. Hi, everyone. Welcome back to another episode of Rapid Subconscious Reprogramming. We're here in the community sharing value, sharing tools to help people deal with things that might be, going on in their life. Could be relationships. It could be, health. It could be different things that people might be struggling, right? Communications at their jobs, in their business, right? Everything goes back to mindset, as we've been talking for a while now. So today I want to talk about the mind and time in the mind, because there's a lot of people talking about this, saying that, the past is gone. And I believe that they have a limited understanding how the mind works. And that's why they normally say, oh, the past is gone. You got to let go of the past, forget about the past, it's gone, right? And I want to share with you some scientifically proven studies that have showed how the mind works and what is going on and why is it that we might be, struggling in different areas of our life. So welcome back again. If you're watching live, hashtag live. If you're watching replay, hashtag replay. On social media, that will be great. And let me change cameras. Here we go. So the mind has no time. What do I mean with this? And what does science have proven around this? That for the mind, everything is running here and now. So if we get triggered, if we wake up in the morning, and it has happened to a lot of people, they wake up in the morning and they wake up stressed out or with anxiety, or during the day, nothing quote unquote happens, and suddenly they start feeling anxious, sad, angry, and they really don't know what's going on. Well, I'm going to share with you what are the things that might be going on in your mind that are creating whatever you're going through. Maybe, loneliness, maybe it is anger, maybe it is anxiety, fear, right? What is going on in the mind is that normally what happens is the right lobe of the mind is the part that is in, like we call the subconscious mind, is running our past memories. And the mind is evaluating today, what's going on today, to, of course, as I normally say, protect us. What does that mean? So if in the past I tried different things and they didn't go well, I got rejected, I got judged, I got criticized, right? The mind might be looking into today and future situations to try to protect me from going through that painful situation again. So imagine that, in a month, maybe you're traveling. In a month, you'll be looking for a raise, or in a month, something is going to happen, right? The mind can already be in overload, trying to control whatever is happening to try to prevent you from feeling something negative or going through a negative situation in a month. Imagine that again, you're going to ask for a raise in a month, or you have an evaluation, at work in a month, and you're starting to get nervous even today, even if you're a month away. So for the mind, the month from now is no time. It's just in the future, like next, I'm going to be evaluated at work to see if I deserve a raise. So the mind is already preparing for that here and now. Why? Because maybe in the past I did something, right, where I didn't get something, that I put some expectation, I didn't meet them. So the mind is starting to run that past memory, right, according to the potential future that could happen. So the mind is going to go look back into your past to see what happens in different situations to create a potential future according to that. So again, if maybe in the past you didn't get a raise, the mind had proof that it could go wrong. If in the past you were rejected by somebody, the mind is going to think that it might happen again. So it's creating potential futures according to your past. If the past was gone, if the past, didn't affect us anymore, we would just go through life happy, enjoyment, exploring, expecting anything to happen because of the potential that we have. But no, what happens? The mind is many times in protective mode. We go into procrastination. We don't do the things that we tell ourselves that we're going to do. We find it difficult to speak up, to set boundaries. We do maybe people pleasing. We fall into perfectionism. Different behaviors that are all, in a way, protective mechanism from past experiences that we had. So the mind is so amazing that it could be running a past experience as if it were happening here and now. I work with people that are in their 40s, in their 50s, in their 60s, and they're still acting out ways, strategies to try to feel, to make dad proud, to try to feel good about themselves. So they're still trying to do things today because their past, they wanted to make dad and mom proud, they were not able to. So suddenly they're still doing it today. And you would say, but that doesn't make much sense. It does when you understand the mind. For that person, their mind is still running their old version from their past that was trying to make mom and dad proud. If you're procrastinating, it could be that a part of you is trying to protect you from doing something wrong, making a mistake, because maybe when you were a kid or at school, growing up as an adolescent, things didn't go well. And the mind is scared of, I don't know, your brother coming and beating you up because you didn't do something well, or your mom screaming at you or yelling at you because you did something wrong. So the mind, according to our past, is projecting a potential future. That's how it works. Because the truth is, we could look into two, major things. I succeed at this or I fail at this. But what happens many times as the mind is trying to protect you from failing again because you have failed in the past and it brought a lot of pain, it's still reliving that past. So the past is not gone as most people think that the past, it's gone, just let it go, forget about it. No, because that past is going to dictate your actions today, behaviors today, and your future actions and behaviors. The amazing thing about the mind, and this I'm going to sound a little bit crazy here, but this is how the mind works, is that you can talk to that other version of you. So we're talking about a past version of Tommy that maybe he did something and his parents got angry. So now he's scared of doing things because maybe he's going to make his parents angry, but now it's me making myself angry. So I might be beating myself up today if I do something wrong. So part of me is protecting me from doing something and maybe failing. So according to my past, my mind is protecting me from doing so that I don't fail again. And I now don't judge myself or imagine others judging me because I failed or I did something wrong. That is how the mind works. So I can interact with that part. The mind is so amazing that you can close your eyes and you can imagine you, adult you, today, version today, April 2024, talking to that part of you from the past and trying to understand what's going on. So, hey, what's going on? I don't want to do this. Why don't you want to do this? Because I'm scared. Scared of what? Of making a mistake. It makes total sense that you're scared of making a mistake because when you made a mistake as a kid or back then, right, you felt judged, criticized, or somebody judged you, criticized you back then. So we start interacting with our past. That it's not actually your past, is a memory running in your mind today, now. So when you wake up in the morning and suddenly you're feeling stressed out, anxiety, or something happened and you start feeling really bad, normally it has to do with what's going on today, but the mind is finding connections from your past and is bringing your unresolved issues, your emotions from back then, here now. Once I was working with a woman that she was at work and she had a boss that was a guy. And in her case, she felt that when the boss was around, she felt safe. Okay, listen to this. So when the boss was around, man figure, masculine figure, right? She felt safe at work to make decisions, to do things at work, right? One day she was given something to do that she didn't feel ready to do. And that day the boss was not there at work and she had a panic attack. When we started talking, she didn't understand these things. She was kind of beating herself up because she had a panic attack at work, and she felt unsafe and she could understand why. So as I started asking many questions, we found out that yes, she had some safe environment when the boss was there. And as the boss had left and she had to do something that made her feel uncomfortable, she lost it in a way and got a panic attack. We then attached that and started exploring the subconscious mind, the memories from the past. And our memory was revealed when she was 6 or 7 years old. She was at the sea with her dad holding her hand, and a wave hit her, dad and her, and they were put under the water. Dad, unfortunately, let her go. And for maybe seconds or maybe 1 minute, I don't know, she was underneath the water, not being able to breathe and feeling so scared that she was going to die. That same memory had been activated at that moment at work. So at work, where father figure, this boss that was a guy, wasn't around to rescue or protect her, right? As what had happened when she was a little girl, she relived the moment of not being able to breathe and thinking that she was going to die. She told me, I felt that I couldn't breathe, that I was kind of not choking, but she used another word, but like she couldn't breathe and that she was going to die. And she told me, but Tommy, that sounded so crazy. You know, I don't understand. And she was judging herself for going through that. So what I helped her do was recognize the memory, understand that there was a valid reasons to feel today that she couldn't breathe. Because although she could breathe today, and this is what a lot of people do, is like convince yourself that you can breathe. Just take a couple of breaths and show yourself that you can breathe. Yes and no. First, we need to validate and say, hey, it makes sense. Something might be happening in your mind that is making you feel like that because of a past experience. And as we did that, it was later, she was able to connect with that memory from her past, understand what was going on, and be able to deal with that memory from the past, change the story, the perception of that memory from the past. And so far, I haven't, talked to her very often, but I kept on doing some, reach out, see how she was doing and things like that. And she was able not to have another panic attack, at least so far. It doesn't mean that it's not going to happen again. I don't know. It might happen again if another memory or something in that memory is still running there that needs to be dealt even a little bit more, maybe. But we dealt with the memory. We did some healing. We did some releasing. We changed the story of that memory, right? And she was able to start feeling much more empowered, much more safe by her being her protector more than needing this, masculine figure around her to protect her. Because this was something that was recurring in her life, that she was always falling into wanting the guy beside her to protect her. And she didn't understand why she was doing that. And it had to do with her past. So as we work in several sessions through this, she was able to start getting more empowered, feel more safe around herself. And at least for the time that I spoke with her and doing some follow-ups, she didn't have another episode like that. And she was able to start being more empowered at her work in different areas of her life. And that is how the mind works. The mind is running our unresolved issues from the past, today, here, and now. And many times we're not even aware of it. As I mentioned, the challenge, I'm working with a woman that when she was a little girl, mom and dad had separated. Dad would pick her up and take her on vacations, right? Once a year, whatever, right? And when she wasn't leaving her house, she saw her mom torn. So even today, as a grown-up, each time she went on vacations, even by herself with her partner, she felt guilty. She felt bad about the vacations, and she didn't know why. When we started exploring the subconscious mind, we found these memories of her as a little girl leaving the house, leaving mom behind, and mom feeling torn, and this little girl thinking that it was her fault that mom was feeling like that. So she didn't allow herself to enjoy her vacations because of mom. So we're working. We just found out a little bit ago. So we've been working on that and other things that kept on coming up. Right. So we're working on those things. I had another guy that suddenly, out of the blue, quote unquote, he started crying and he didn't understand what. When he started exploring the mind, he found that there was a connection with what he was doing today with something that happened in the past. So the mind started running a memory of the past where he felt abandoned by his father and he started crying today because he was still, a part of him was experiencing that memory as if it were happening today. So please, please, please try not to take what other people are saying, that, the past is gone, just let it go, just let it be, because it's not gone. For the mind, and it has been proven, the mind doesn't see time. The mind just sees a TV running a different movie, maybe a Tommy when he's 5 years old. That's a different movie. So imagine seeing a movie and then seeing, I don't know, 5 more screens, 3 more screens with different movies that are similar in a way, right? It's past experiences that could be connected because maybe you felt abandoned, maybe you felt judged, you felt criticized, you felt rejected. So the mind is replaying that past that is affecting you today because of that. So instead of fighting your emotions, your thoughts, oh, I shouldn't feel like this, I shouldn't think like that. Why do I feel this anger? Where is this coming from? I shouldn't feel like this. I know Tommy didn't do anything so bad to make me so angry, or my partner, my friend, my boss. Sometimes we fall into this, it doesn't seem that what is happening is, really makes sense to how I'm responding to it. But we need to also embrace how we are responding, because it's a part of us that needs to be listened, that needs to be understood, that needs to be supported. That's how we dissolve emotions and behaviors, right? By really understanding what's going on. So I want you to really take with you, I want to invite you to understand that there is no past. Everything is the now, as Edgar Tolle says really well, right? That there's only the now, yes, but in the now, you could be reliving a past memory, and that's where you're getting triggered, how you're feeling today. And if you deny it, you're not actually helping the mind process that behavior, or that memory from the past, and it's going to keep coming up, and it's going to get you triggered. Could be once a week, could be once a month, it could be once a day. It doesn't matter, but it's going to keep coming back because the mind keeps seeing that memory as something that happened and has not been dealt with. So if today, imagine you get into a fight with your partner and then you make amends, perfect. That's the same thing that I want to invite you to do. Make amends with your past. Understand it, support it, love that part of you that is reliving that past, because that part of you, although it's a memory, it still has its own personality that it's going through, and it needs love and acceptance. So you're able to start practicing that, loving and accepting your past. Yes, those parts of you that are struggling today because of past experiences. So it would be in a way your past, but today, the more you're able to love and accept, the more you're able to validate that experience, understand it, support it, that's when you truly start healing and you start letting go of the past once and for all. Not by denial, because a lot of people do that. They deny it. The past is gone. I shouldn't feel like that. That is denial. By really embracing, loving, and accepting, because the mind doesn't make a distinction. And what the mind needs is love and acceptance. So you're practicing every time that happens is love and acceptance to a part of you from your past, quote unquote, that is happening now. Let me know in the chat if that makes sense or it sounds crazy. I don't mind if you say crazy, but that is how the mind works. The past is still running our life today. So if we deal with it, if we embrace those past memories, whatever emotions we're feeling are going to go down. Because whenever I feel anxiety and I feel some type of comfort, somebody saying, hey, it's okay, tell me you feel this way, you got valid reasons, whatever it is, that anxiety level starts going down to a moment where I can start understanding it more, see what happened in the past that is creating this thing now, and I can deal with it, heal it, and let it finally go. This is how we let go of the past. Again, not by force, but by love and acceptance. Thank you very much. I hope that makes sense. I can see here some comments coming in and saying yes. So I'm glad it does. And, deal with whatever you're struggling with, because it is part of your past that needs to be dealt with. It's an opportunity. If you keep suppressing it, ignoring it, fighting it, things are not going to change. You're going to keep this, loop of feeling anxiety every Monday, every Friday, every Sunday. Whatever you're struggling with is going to keep coming over and over again. And it might not change overnight with this work, but as you start loving and accepting the different parts of you, you're going to feel different inside, and eventually your behaviors are going to start aligning with that. And that's the idea with this work. So thank you very much for watching. I hope you enjoyed this. Have a great rest of the week, and I'll talk to you next time. Bye.